Yo, what's up guys? It's Choodle here, back, holy cow. And I'm going to be doing a deck profile for Altmile. So, without further ado, let's begin. So obviously, any starter, any V-Series starter will do. It's just aesthetics at this point. But I chose Milius for Altmile, just cause. Alright, so meat and potatoes of Altmile. We're going to run 4 copies of Aerial Divine Knight Altmile. He's really awesome. What he does is that he gives all your grade 2s. If you have no face-up damage, all grade 2s on field get 10,000 power, 5,000 shield, and crit. He has another skill, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, call 1 grade 2 from your drop and 1 grade 2 from your deck. Which is really awesome because if you're going up against decks that retire a lot, you can recur those units back. Then we also play the Trial deck Altmile. Mainly just to have a grade 3, but I've seen some decks not play him at all. And while tempting, I do like to have the extra grade 3 on hand, and he's also not bad to call off of Solomon, since he has a Vanguard Rearguard skill. He also has a skill, Counter Blast 1, discard a card from your hand. You search your deck for 2 grade 2 cards, reveal them and put them into your hand, shuffle your deck. Grade 2s, I run 4 copies of Solomon. Solomon's skill is when he's placed, you look at the top 7, call an Altmile and shuffle your deck. He's really awesome because his other skill is when he attacks, Counter Blast 1 and return a rear guard in another column to your hand, and he gets 5k. So essentially, he's another grade 3 searcher, and he looks at the top 7 without you having to discard. He's really, really cool. And another thing too is when Squidora comes out, he'll also be useful, so you can add back those units that have cradle markers on them, so you don't have to give your opponent a free plus. Then of course, 4 copies of Liverot, probably one of the best grade 2s for Royal Paladin to come out in a while. His skill is when he's called, Counter Blast 1, search your deck for a grade 2, call it to an open rear, shuffle your deck. And if you have no face of Counter Blast, you Soul Blast 1 instead, which excellent. This is literally an excellent card. All this though has to be done if he's called from your hand, so you can't go Liverot to Liverot to Liverot, That'd be pretty busted. Then we have 3 copies of High Dog Breeder Akane. I play Akane instead of Die Connect Dragon because I don't have Die Connect Dragon. I do like Akane a little bit more because she deck thins. Not only that, but Pongo also does the same thing Die Connect does, except 5k less. She's a Counter Blast as well. But that is also pro and a con, because I have had issues where I have 1 Counter Blast to call her, but not enough to call a Pongo with Soul Charge. So in those cases, Die Connect would be great. If I were to have Die Connect, I'd probably play 2 copies of Akane, 1 copy of Die Connect, and then I have 3 copies of Starlight Violinist. Starlight Violinist gives all your grade 2s boost and intercept from the back row, but that is if you have no face-up counter blasts. So your damage zone has to be face down, which is the theme of this, whole deck. Really awesome. This card literally makes the deck. If you don't see this card, which is impossible considering you have so many cards that can search him, you will have a bad time. And then I have this Knight of Determination Lamorak. Lamorak is actually pretty cool because he can become a 30k booster by doing his skill, which is if you have 5 or more units, Counter Blast 1, he gains 10k. Of course, I play 4 copies of Sickles. Sickles is your grade 3 searcher. Every clan has one. He is pretty good, especially if you're going first or going second, I suppose, because you get to attack first. Because he gets a 13k attacker on his own because you have no damage, henceforth no face-up damage. He, does what every other grade 3 searcher does. He searches just for a grade 3. Definitely a staple in many Royal Paladin decks. Speaking of staples, we also have 3 copies of Knight Squire Allen. Knight Squire Allen, Counter Blast 1, call a unit with the same grade or lower than your Vanguard. He gains 3k, and you also draw a card. And then to round things up with my grade 1s, I play 3 copies of Pongo to go along with the Akane. onto my triggers. This is usually what will be a lot different for everybody else. I play 10 crit and 2 drop PG, and of course 4 heal. Sometimes this thing does come in handy because it's just a 1-card guard against the Vanguard, especially an unboosted Vanguard. A lot of other times I would prefer to have a PG. Right now I plan on sticking with my 10 crit, 2 draw, 4 heal lineup. But in the future, it might change once the meta gets a little different, especially in my area, once a lot more people start to really build up their decks again. But yeah, that is the profile. I might release it again once I get these new cards and rethink my build, but for now, I do think it's alright. I have some other decks I would like to profile as well, like I have PBD right over here. Obviously, with the new PBO looming and the new ride chain, this guy does get quite a bit of good support. Not as good as Luard, mind you, but still pretty good nonetheless. But with that being said, my name is Chuto, and thank you for watching.